Now I know how it's
Well, I
happening.
guess we're starting. Oh, it's that time of the week.
Brothers, sisters, and siblings, welcome to Penn Sunday School, starring Penn Gillette. My name is Michael Godot. Matt Donnelly, Randy Rich, Penn, and I are broadcasting from our separate homes in Las Vegas. We'll talk about the new P&T TV show, Try This at Home. Ex-Libertarian presidential candidate Justin Amash isn't here. And we'll talk about a real-life version of Lord of the Flies. Here he is preaching love, Mr. Penn Gillette.
Yeah, here we are preaching love. I'm feeling pretty good today. Have you guys noticed during this quarantine that you have wicked, crazy mood swings?
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
Not at all. Not Ready Rich at all.
Nah.
Ready Rich is true like ice, like fire.
I was born for this.
What's that?
I was born for this.
Yeah, I find that I have times that I'm really bummed out. Just walking around bummed out. My son reprimands me for it.
Well,
you should try to be happy, Dad, he says.
You've been performing in front of audiences since you were how old?
12. This is the longest I've gone without doing a show in front of a live audience since I was 12 years old.
And you already had the second and third place also happens with Teller's back surgery. So then that's all within the realm of his last couple of years, right?
Although the second and third place, I was performing for live audiences, just not with Teller.
Oh, that's true.
So this pushes me back to 12 years old.
Yeah.
Because just no live shows, none.
We do have a live audience right now.
I suppose. I guess what I mean is people in a room with me looking at me. That's what I mean.
Theatrical environment.
Yeah. You know what's making me sad is just my kids. My daughter not being able to have a real graduation and a ceremony.
I think I said this before. Ceremony, I don't think they miss at all. Who gives a fuck about that?
They want to get there with their friends.
No, what I think it's just being able to, be with somebody privately and talk about stuff, and be able to see, there was a big article about how the lag on electronic media is ruining our face mirroring, like as I'm talking to you now, there's a slight lag. So when you do mirroring of my face to show you understand, there's that uncanny valley of you're not quite reacting to me in real time. And for children who are still learning what that is to bounce stuff off people, those micro facial expressions that they're losing in real time are horrible. My son was really good at playing video games with his friends, before the quarantine. He can still do that. I mean, when we let him, but he was still being able to walk around the halls of the school, and find out, also get that feedback, instead of your parents reprimanding you, your friends just getting a slight look on your face like you're talking like a dick. Stop it. Without even reprimanding you, just they can see it in your face. You see it in their face that, oh, what I'm saying, I'm going down a bad road here. I got to stop this. And that kind of correction, you remember being 13, 14, or soon my children will be 14 and 15. And, you'd walk into school being a different person,
For sure.
Every day, and feel what that person was. And then slowly you whittle it down to the things that seem to feel right for you. But you can go in one day as a punk and one day as a hippie and bounce that around. And the children are missing that and don't even directly know that they're missing that. And, the only people they get to talk to in person are mother, father, grandmother, and stupid sibling.
Right.
So the sibling rivalries, not rivalries, but sibling tensions become worse. This is, I'm just telling you right now, I don't want to be controversial, but I think this quarantine thing is bad, this virus thing. I think it's causing people a lot of consternation and suffering.
Yes, I for sure, and it's
You
really
with me on this?
Anybody with a counterpoint?
What's that?
Anybody with a counterpoint?
Yeah, where's the counterpoint on this?
Yeah.
There is one thing it's going to do. I mean, it's almost like a by the numbers science fiction novel in that you get all the technology in place to work from home, many people to work from home, and the electronics are in place, and we're not really using it that much. And then all of a sudden, we are forced to push the technology to its limits. I mean, Zoom was there. We just didn't use it,
right.
And now we have an excuse. And I don't think there was a big article on how people aren't going to go back to work. These big office buildings with cubicles, that's just going to stop.
Yeah, I mean, commercial real estate was already dying in a lot of ways from the internet anyway.
Yeah.
And so like this will just accelerate whatever that process that was already happening because of emotional and comfort levels,
Yeah.
Even from a perspective of, you're a large, you're a small business owner, but you have a good amount of employees. The idea of having a place where people come to work is part of the coolness of being a business person.
Yeah.
You like the idea of putting people to work in your office, right?
The cost of basketball hoops is about to drop precipitously.
It's a nutty thing. So we have this special.
Yes.
I already talked.
Tomorrow night?
I already talked a lot about it. Monday night, that would be the 18th. Monday night, the 18th. I think 8 o'clock, and I think it's all over the country. It's adjusted for 8 o'clock. I did a show in Chicago, and they said it was 8 o'clock. So if it's 8 o'clock in Chicago, and it's 8 o'clock in New York, and it's 8 o'clock in Vegas, it's 8 o'clock everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's an hour-long special. Try this at home. And Teller watched it. I think I told you this, and thought it was really good, which is unusual for Teller. And I did not watch it because if I watched it, I would never work again. You know that. That's the way I live.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be too depressed by not living up to. I have a map, as we all do. Of how I come across to people.
Yeah.
And, when you hear recordings of yourself, there's always a weirdness, not because you don't sound like yourself, because too much of you comes across, There's,
Oh, sure.
there's little leaks and gaps. And when I watch myself performing, I see all my insecurities and all my incompetence and all the stuff that should be fixed. When I would watch myself on Letterman, I would comment to everybody that I was a really bad stutterer, that I had stutters and stammers all the time, which I do, but they aren't egregious if you're listening to what I'm saying and watching a bit and not just watching to see how horrible I am, which is what I'm doing. So I'd rather not watch myself. So, the long-suffering Glenn and Teller and all the producers are very careful to not send me clips. So I see an ad and go, "Whoa, that sure seemed different in my head."
Right.
There it is out there. And
Yeah.
boy,
I remember everything I was thinking when I was saying something if I watch it.
Yeah.
And that just becomes amplified into a loop, and then I'm trapped in the horror of my own awfulness.
yeah.
Or you watch it, everyone's thrilled, and you're like, "Can we reshoot all of my stuff? Because I don't like it."
Once in a while, when I do audiobooks, Reddy's my producer, and a lot of stuff I'll do, there'll be a producer. So they had this PSA for Caesars. Actually, it was for the NFL, right? No, it was for Caesars. It was Caesars, saluting the heroes. There's all these people working really hard. We don't want to pay them anymore. We don't want to give them face masks to protect them.
That sort of heroes.
So we'll get celebrities to hand job them and see if that'll save us some money.
Yeah.
I'm not accusing Caesars of this. I'm accusing the whole world of this.
Well,
So
one of the weird things that we found out is that America lives paycheck to paycheck. not its citizens, but America as a whole. That, that we live paycheck to paycheck. So it's been a real education spot for all of us.
Yeah. And so I had to do these PSAs. Hi, this is Penn and Teller. Stay safe. And boy, thanks to all the medical workers who are doing this. And we at Caesars and all the employees are really behind you. Stay safe. I just did it there.
There you go.
From memory. 40 takes. I was the only one producing. And I sent them, this is so embarrassing, for a 1 minute spot, a 30-second spot, and a 15-second spot, all of which cover the same material. So altogether, 1 minute and 45 seconds of material. I sent them 48 minutes of video. I sent them every take and said, maybe you'll be able to cut this together into something new.
Caesars presents the making of Stay Safe, Fellas.
No, this is the guy who will walk on stage for a corporate meeting with not a thought in his head and do 45 minutes.
Right.
Okay? Fine.
To the second.
Boom. This is someone who, when we did Comedy Central, would bank through a week of every wraparound on the show in an hour and a half with 6 different producers in the booth. Bang, 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 bang. When Glenn books us for something, they book us for 2 hours. I do the work in 20 minutes. I just bang through, no problem. Leave me in a room alone and say, Penn, when you think this is good, let us know. And I get into this absolute psychotic loop. So when I did the NFL thing, the draft pick thing,
Yeah.
I did a take, sent it to Glenn, did a take, sent it to Glenn, did a take, sent it to Glenn. Glenn got the first take. Sent 3 more, said the first one, that's good, we can use that. I said, there are 3 more that are better. He said, good, we're done. I said, let me just do 1 more while you're looking at these. He said, I'm fine with the first one, and I'm going to post it. I said, okay. So my mother-in-law is in the room with me, and I go, that sound okay? And she goes, well, you just said, welcome to the NFL draft pick. Penn and Teller. Glad to be here. I said, yeah. Was it okay? What was it supposed to be? That makes her doubt it, right? What do you think you're doing? Because for what I thought you were doing, it was nothing, and you seemed to do it. You were supposed to be like levitating or being funny. Well, you weren't that.
I particularly liked the L. I particularly liked your pronunciation of the L in glad. It seemed really strong. That L was really nice.
The Raiders draft pick was supposed to hear that and weep. Do you think that's what's going to happen? Did you listen for that?
So, yeah. So when I'm left on my own, so I need to have someone produce me.
Mm-hmm.
With luck, someone who is impatient and not paying attention.
Right.
Not like Reddy, who is not impatient and is paying attention. So this just goes, fine, fuck it, we're done. Boom.
Hey, I need work, man.
I was going to say, I didn't realize I was under applying for positions in the Penn and Teller company.
You realize, you think you have those qualities in spades?
Yeah. I could be on my phone while you're recording, no problem.
So that's why it's so great that we're doing this Try This at Home show, because we're doing it on Zoom, and Andrew and the other producers are able to watch and go, it's like Clint Eastwood. That's enough of that.
Penn, get to the fucking point.
What's that?
I said, get to the fucking point.
Yeah.
I'm trying on something new.
So we do a card tricks, and we do a bunch of stuff. It's really interesting that this is a new form in magic. It's a brand new form.
Yeah.
Because when you do magic on TV, very, very often, I guess always, the audience is watching you do the magic for somebody else.
Right.
You know, even if that's a live amorphous audience, or if that's a specific representative from the audience, or whoever that is, you're experiencing us interacting with somebody. And on this special, it's us interacting with you, telling you what to do. And when we do interact with someone else, like Elle and Dakota Fanning, we are interacting without touching the fucking props. Man, that makes the theory of magic very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Just crazy.
I would have a hard time walking people through your children's magic kit over Zoom, let alone an actual TV worthy magic kit.
It's complicated. It's wicked complicated, and I'm pretty proud of that. So I think it'll be really good. And I guess they would say the proof of the pudding is that CW saw the very first cut and bought another one.
Oh, nice.
So next week we'll be doing another one of these. So boy, that was a really impossible task to solve how to do magic over without being in the same room. That's really impossible. You did it. Now do it again. So we came up with some other stuff we're going to be doing that's pretty nutty and pretty good. I think it's interesting, for 45 years, Taylor and I have been doing magic together. And, I'm loath to say anything that could be interpreted as, boy, this lockdown is fun. And I'm certainly not saying that. But it was a nice intellectual challenge to have a whole new kind of magic to look at,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it because I'm having trouble picturing it. You know what I mean? I don't know what that means or what it entails, and I can't wait to learn it.
What I'll tell people who are savvy and who like puzzles, okay, that the tricks we're doing, and I think I've already said this a little bit on here, but I am giving a lot away with this. Everything we do with Elle and Dakota Fanning, you can figure out from what you see. There's absolutely nothing hidden. And Taylor and I said when we wrote it, we'll be busted on the internet on this instantly. And we said, that's really great. It's like a mystery you can solve at home. And I'm sure that when Elle and Dakota watch it, if they watch it, they probably are happier about watching themselves on video than I am because, I don't know, I think Elle and Dakota Fanning might be better looking than me.
All right.
I like watching them on TV better than I like watching you.
Precisely my point.
You're just saying that to get, big entertainment articles in the newspapers and stuff, a little compare and contrast.
Yeah.
You're cute too, Penn.
Thank you. That's what I really wanted. Thank you.
I think, I think magic as a whole, I think your show was already pushing this in this direction anyway, which is, people are the layperson is definitely realizing knowing how a trick is done and performing magic are two very different things. And, as someone with a Fool clip on YouTube, I'd say like every 10th comment is someone just laying it all out there. They figured it out, And the funny thing is like, it's not like everyone likes that comment and goes, you did it. Like it's not like a cheering of you figured out the trick comment. The comments that take life and the comments that create conversations are about the performance,
And also, it's not like we figured it out, take it down. No one wants to watch it anymore.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. That clip's still getting plenty of people watching it. And it's A-okay with me. Yeah. So I think, I think everyone knows they're in magic for the moment, I mean, the very few people leave your shows and we're like, listen, come work for us with these powers. you can do it. We're all there to open our imaginations for a moment and have you mess with us. And so everybody likes that. They like that feeling. That's why we go see it. And so, you're going to absolutely dazzle people in the moment. Mission accomplished. Then some people will be able to figure out the back end, and it's not going to be like, oh no, there goes Penn and Teller's career on television.
Well, I'll be really curious at the people who watch the Ellen Dakota fanning trick once and just go, got it. Because there will be those. I mean, I think Reddy will be that, certainly. I know the way Reddy thinks, and he will not be sideswiped by the bells and whistles. I don't think Reddy's aware of the bells and whistles sometimes.
He actually have been doing a fool us behind the scenes, and Reddy and I were talking about. We watched the episode where you guys ended with flag, and Reddy Rich conceded to spending more time than the average person looking directly at the flagpole for the duration of that trick.
Because there certainly is nothing else going on. So, is everybody exercising during the lockdown? You're going out a lot, right, Cadeau?
Not out a lot, no. I'm doing a little bit of hiking, but and jumping rope. I have a heavy jump rope that I jump rope with.
How heavy?
And what's that?
How heavy?
25 jumps. It's not a lot. I have fake hips, but in the last few
But the
weeks,
jump rope is 60 pounds.
Yeah, I am getting stronger. I can feel it. Going up and down stairs and things, my hips are stronger than they were before this, which is great.
Well, I've been doing about 25 minutes a day with Jason Garfield on FaceTime, and I put him on a tripod, and then he watches me, and I hear him in my hearing aids, and he tells me what to do and how much to do, and I believe it's the most successful exercise I've done in my life. I mean, I don't know if you look up Jason Garfield juggler, he may be offering this to other people. It is incredible. I believe my arms are bigger than they've ever been. The other day, Jason, when I was lifting up over my head, Jason said, wait a minute, I think there are abs showing. And then I swim, every third day or so, or take a long walk. But most of the time I'm doing like real weight training and squats and squat jumps and squat thrusts, bouncing squats and all sorts of other squats. And he goes until I turn into Beaky Buzzard. Remember Beaky Buzzard?
I don't.
No.
You know Beaky Buzzard on the Warner Brothers.
I mean, probably.
The Warner
I don't know the
Brothers
name.
cartoon. There's a buzzard, a mother buzzard, and she sends her children out to get prey. And of course, one of that prey is going to be Bugs Bunny. But Beaky is the smallest of the buzzards, and she tells him to fly off the cliff, and Beaky Buzzard goes, nope, 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 nope.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Nope,
Nope,
nope, nope, nope, nope, nope.
Very good impersonation. I got him from that.
That's Beaky Buzzard's catchphrase.
Does he also do Baby Bumblebee? Is that the same character?
I don't know.
I'm asking. I don't
think
remember.
that it is.
Gone a little baby bumblebee.
Yeah.
Well, it was Mel Blanc, I imagine. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll be in my plank at 2 minutes, holding my plank for 2 minutes.
2 minute plank?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And he's going 5, 4. Nope, 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 nope. Hit the floor. So far, I've done a 2 minute and 1 second plank, and then Beaky Buzzard lands on my head. Nope, 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 nope.
Also, I love like you have this thing in your brain to not respond to like macho motivation stuff, like from when you were a teenager. So the idea of like doing the 1, 2, that's when everyone's going to be like, all right, I'll tough it out. And you're like, no, what is this counting? No, thank you.
Yeah, it's my mother-in-law and my wife. I was very embarrassed by this. I said to them over dinner, I exercised today, and they said, "Oh, we know."
Oh no!
Because I am screaming, "Jason, you motherfucker! No, 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 no!" It sounds like they're, and because I have it in my hearing aids, you can't even tell that someone else doing audio.
You're just you're a homeless person.
Yeah.
Chatting on the street.
You're just bulking up to fight this invisible ghost named Jason.
Yeah, Casper the Dead Child.
So I try to get out. I try to get in 10,000 steps a day. So just go for hikes or walks around the block, whatever. Try to stay, very distant and just whatever. And that's really just to kind of clear my head. I don't consider that like staying in shape in any way. So my wife was like, "Why don't you actually just do like a workout with me, and we'll do a light one?" I was like, "Of course." Because unlike Penn, I was like, of course, feeling slightly challenged about me and my masculinity. Of course, I'll do it. And we had like a very light.
I don't know if we need slightly light, but okay for you, honey.
So we want to do just like a few, like literally 5-pound dumbbells with a few like squat exercises.
And let's remind everybody that your wife is a dancer.
Yeah. My wife is in shape, and she's been doing at least 2 workouts a day since this thing started. And, these are like hour-long, fully like, pumped up classes going on. So like this action by her was
that alone, or she does do a video?
She does that alone. Well, there's a video class. She joins a video class live. She joins video classes live. And we'll either do it in our little playroom or our backyard or something. And the backyard is fun because the neighbors applaud. No, it's not true. It's not true. But
they're not a good crowd.
They're not a crowd. They boo her.
Not a good crowd. Yeah. Suck.
But so this act by her was really charitable. She was like, this wouldn't even count as a full workout for her, I don't think. And I went through 2 rounds of it, and she's like, all right, now we can stop here, do one more round, which means I said,
stop now. Nope.
Everything in my voice agrees with Penn, but Macho Mouth Matty Savage over here was like, one more round. Squeaks.
Let's do another one, honey.
I mean, I'm just kind of going to a seated position and standing back up with little tiny weights in my hand.
So you are Tom Cruise and I'm Beaky Buzzard.
Yes, definitely. I'm like a giant Tom Cruise. But I haven't been able to walk properly for 2 days. Like I can't even go like up and down stairs. It was like a half-hour workout with 5-pound weights, and I've been walking around like I just had hip surgery for the last 2 days. It's just been pathetic, so pathetic. I can't even. Like my kids want me to pick them up. I'm like, no, not today.
And was your wife kind about it?
Yeah. She's kind of been like, this is a hump you must get over. This isn't a moment you should retreat from. She's kind of like now offering me more classes because like clearly you should be able to move past this point to get to the point where you can work out and function.
Yeah, my take.
You got through the worst day. You made it through the worst day.
Yeah.
And now it's going to get easier.
That's just not true.
That's what she's saying.
I know this because I go through a session with Jason and I am just dripping with sweat, working really, really hard. And I go, it can't be worse than that. And then the next day, we're going to go over 2 minutes on the plank.
Yeah.
I go, but I already did that yesterday. We're done.
I don't think any personal trainer would be like, yes, you should take that much Advil to compensate for the amount of working out you're doing.
He did say, however, even though Beaky Buzzard, that I put more into it than most anyone he's trained.
Oh, that's good.
So I do try to, I want very, very short and very intense. Once again, right. Tom Cruise. So I wanted to say this. I don't know. This is just kind of confession. Okay. So driving my daughter over to her girlfriend's house. I'm just going to drive the car and she gets to see her friend and they get to be apart with masks on and chat, but at least within the same zip code. And so I drive her over, and on the way over, I say, we always listen to Mox's music. I'm very strong about that. That when I'm in the car with the children, I want the children to have complete choice of music. And then I listen in, and I learn a little something, and I learn a little something about them. The lines they've memorized and the ones that are important. And I learned so much more listening to their music than I could learn listening to my music. But I think Moxie said, or maybe it was my idea, why don't you play something? So we're going to do a ride over. So I say, for some reason, I had in my head that I would play Rosalita by Springsteen.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going through singing along with Bruce, which we all do,
Sure.
growling. And then I've also got I've got I got some alternate bootleg lines, like for your papa says he knows I don't have any money. Your daddy says he knows I don't have any money. He sings, tell him this is his last chance to get his daughter in a fine romance, because the record company, Rosie, just gave me a big advance.
Right.
Well, I saw him in Minnesota right when he hit at the Guthrie of 1,000 seat theater. He had just hit. And he said, your papa says he knows I don't have any money. And he sang, tell your mommy and daddy I ain't no freak. I got my picture on the cover of Time and Newsweek. And he pulled them out of his back pocket and held them up. And then I've also seen him when, instead of going, I'm coming to liberate you, confiscate you, I want to be your man, he has sung, I've come to kung fu you, sock it to you, I want to be your man, which to me is the greatest lyric Springsteen ever wrote. I don't know why I stayed with that. I'm coming to kung fu you, sock it to you. Hard to beat that. I love kung fu being used that way. Kung fu.
Yeah.
Kung fu. The verb version of kung fu always makes me laugh. And I may have gotten that first from Springsteen, right? So then I was done with Rosalita, and Moxie was fiddling with her phone, and Thunder Road came on. That's not true. Piano Man came on, and I skipped that. Because it's one of these services that you ask for a song, they give you other stuff like that. And I was rather chagrined that Rosalita led me to Piano Man.
Yeah, Springsteen would agree, I'm sure.
Yeah, which tells me the kind of person they think I am. This is what my car thinks I am. Oh, you like Rosalita? How about some Piano Man? What about all the Sun Ra I was playing? Don't I get anything for that? No credit at all. So it goes into Thunder Road. And of course, for Thunder Road, I sing the main point version. This 442 is going to overheat. Make up your mind, girl. I got to get her back out on the street, about Springsteen's muscle car. Which that part went away. And then I'm driving along and I'm singing along, and my daughter's there in the seat, and we're in quarantine, and I sing along with Springsteen. Well, I ain't no hero. That's understood. Just those words. I ain't no hero. That's understood.
Yeah.
Uncontrollable sobs.
Oh, wow.
Have to look out the window and, kind of pretend allergy stuff,
Yeah.
I do not mind crying in front of my children. I do not mind crying in front of my daughter. I have no compunction about that. My dad, would cry at AT&T ads. I guess AT&T ads weren't on then. We would cry, aftershave ads, Father's Day ads. My dad would cry. And most every movie we saw, my dad would cry. So I'm very comfortable with a role model that cries. But I was so scared of having to explain to Moxie why I ain't no hero, that's understood, wouldn't make me cry so. And I didn't know, it's one of those ones that sneaks up on you.
Sure.
No idea that line, well, I ain't no hero, that's understood. And I don't even have the redemption under my hood. I don't even have a 442. I had to look up on the web what a 442 was.
Right.
and why it would overheat, and why it's silly to have a car that when it's simply parked with the engine running would overheat. What's Detroit thinking with their 442? And you're not allowed to say 442.
No.
You got to say 442. Like, the B-52s, the band Rock Lobster,
Yeah.
they pronounce their name B-52s.
Really?
Yes. And you know that the band Devo always pronounced it DeVoe.
Oh, I think I did know about DeVoe, but I did not know about the B-52s.
So I had to sit down and think why a man during quarantine with a 14-year-old daughter would find himself overwhelmed with "I Ain't No Hero That's Understood." I think when I first heard Thunder Road, I interpreted that line, and I think Springsteen meant it, as "You ain't a beauty, but hey, you're all right."
Yeah.
That's when you get punched in the nose for saying that. But "You ain't a beauty, but hey, you're all right," I always perceived as a New Jersey understatement.
Yeah.
"You ain't a beauty, but hey, you're all right" is in an odd way a compliment. It's saying I'm gonna come under it,
Yeah.
and then saying that's all right with me. And "I ain't no hero that's understood. All the redemption I can offer, girl, is beneath this dirty hood," kind of made me feel like there was humility involved in that. And "I ain't no hero" might be true in the big picture, but at some part of his heart, he believes that he might be a hero for the woman he's singing to.
Oh, wow. It's quite some analysis right
For
there.
Mary, for Mary, he might be a hero. You
Yeah.
take that long walk from your front porch to my front seat. The door's open, but the ride ain't free. I know you're lonely for words that I ain't spoken, but tonight will be free. All the promises will be broken. There's a real sense that this person singing, at least to Mary, might very, very well be her hero.
Yeah.
So when he says, "I ain't no hero that's understood," there's not a real sense of false modesty, but it is a modesty for real that is not coupled with hopelessness.
Yeah.
And when I sang that line, I thought, well, I'm 65 years old and the test has been run. And I am no hero. We've now found out. We found out. When I first heard this, when I was 21 years old, there's a chance I might have been a hero. Maybe for an afternoon, maybe for an evening, maybe for one person, I was going to be a hero. Maybe that was going to happen. Maybe I was all of a sudden going to be Cory Booker. Maybe that was going to happen. Maybe I was going to be Norman Borlaug. Maybe I was going to be a hero for a second. And now, 65 years old, driving the Tesla with my daughter during a lockdown. I ain't no hero. It's understood. We need to accept that. So just so you know, 3 days ago, I accepted fully, completely, from deep, deep in my bowels and my heart, that I am no hero. Now, this is something that I believe you accepted from the moment you met me. I don't think anyone's surprised going, not a hero, huh? That's a shocker. There's no one listening to that thinking that. But I have to explain. I didn't know this. I didn't know that somewhere in my heart there was a dream of me being a hero that was about to be squelched.
Yeah.
But those of you who were thinking that asshole probably thinks he could still be a hero, let that go. Of all the things you can hate about me, that's no longer one. Oh, Penn, he's not a hero, but he knows it.
At least he knows it, perhaps is the right way to say it.
Did your daughter pick up on any of this really deep evaluation?
Can we play my music now?
So yes, 100%. Crap, he's crying. Put something
In
else
her
on.
defense, I think Rosalita's like 8 minutes long and Thunder Road's like 6 minutes long.
We didn't get all the way through Thunder Road.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it would be more interesting if I broke down crying, I'm going to kung fu you, sock it to you. But whenever I'm watching a movie and they start fighting and I say aloud, kung fu him, it always makes me laugh. Makes me laugh so much. I think kung fu should only be used as a verb. So I've been doing these cameos, right?
Yeah.
You go to
Yeah.
cameo.com,
Still doing the
go to
cameos,
cameo.com, and I started out doing it for charity and raised what I thought was quite a bit of money for charity. Certainly not as much money as people need, but it was some money. And I had it was like I expected it to be a chore, because you're doing these, you get a script, not a script, but notes, and you talk to somebody. And there's no feedback from them, unless they come on later and give you, 5 stars. Or I suppose they could give you 1, but that'd be the kind of feedback I wouldn't like. But you talk to somebody. And so I kept doing it after the charity thing was over. I just kept doing it. And I've been doing them every day now. I do about, 5 to 10 of them a day. And I do them right away when I first get up in the morning before I go to bed at night. And I just love them. And the way people have me do them is really great. I will tell you, first of all, someone told me to do one for a senator, a United States senator, who's a friend of theirs, who is on the cray-ray diet to lose weight. And they've been trying to get their friend to be in the cray-ray diet. So they said, would you please tell this senator that the whole cray-ray diet was a gag that you did. You didn't actually lose the weight that way, and that it's all bullshit. So I get to go on and go, hey, Senator, you know that potato thing? Total bullshit. Total bullshit. I lost that weight eating nothing but pig fat and raisins. So get on the program. And I got to speak to the senator, who I then found out later through another mutual friend, thought it was really funny and really enjoyed it. And that's what I wouldn't expect. I've done a lot of Father's Day ones that are really fun that talk about, my dad did the bullet catch with you in '98 and he drew a puppy. And I go, oh, okay. And riff on that. And then the best one, the most incredible one was, I just get it written. I don't get to see them. I get like a paragraph that there was a father whose son was turning 3 years old in 3 days. Now, you would think that I'd be doing a little happy birthday to a 3-year-old that watches Fool Us, right?
Right.
No, it's not what he wanted. He has health issues, the father, and he knows that he will not probably not live to see his son grow deeply into adulthood. So he's putting together a time capsule for his son on his 30th birthday.
Holy shit.
Wow.
So I got to look at this list. I was MC of a time capsule for his son. So I got to say, now, what is Penn 27 years from now? So I was like, look back. There was this act that was on TV a little bit. We also played in Vegas called Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
And his dad had put in clues for a little treasure hunt and a puzzle that he was doing for his 30-year-old son that I was also part of.
This is incredible.
Incredible. And so, I was going to stop doing them because I thought, yeah, it's kind of jive ass. And then the ones I've been doing are not jive ass at all. And even the ones, there's a lot of them that are like, it's trivia night. Ask us a trivia question about Houdini. Okay. It's trivia night. Do this. So I've been doing these questions for people who, for their special online trivia nights, have me come in for a special question. And just the Mother's Day ones. And I did celebrations of children being born, and other one, which was fabulous. It was for a friend, and not romantic, not birthday, not anything, just a friend. And the guy wrote to me, I sent your ring trick that you do with the person's eyes closed on stage. And my friend, whatever her name was, Roberta, sucks. And I said, no, it doesn't. I think it's a good trick. She thinks it sucks. Explain to her why it's good. So I sent them a 5-minute video of me explaining myself to why on earth we would do this trick. I talked about how dual realities and the empathy of magic, and how you get to feel what a musician feels all the time, right? For those who don't know, this is a trick where one person is on stage being fooled and the entire audience is in on it. And they get to watch how that person gets fooled. Now, when you watch Keith Richards play guitar, your perception of what his art is and his perception are very, very close.
Yeah.
He is creating what you are enjoying, and the way he's moving the air around and the ideas he's moving around are ideas you perceive in a very similar way to him. Now, you're not thinking about the technique of playing guitar. Of course, I use Keith Richards as an example, so there's not that much. But you're experiencing the same. And in comedy, although they're not seeing all the machinations and all the work under the hood, they are experiencing a lot of what you're experiencing. But with magic, we are watching a very different show than they're watching. And as someone, Matt, who's done comedy and done magic, you certainly know that it's very, very different, your perception of your magic show than your perception of your comedy show.
Oh, for sure.
You're seeing very different things. So our purpose for doing that was to give the audience an opportunity to be in our shoes, which they never are for the rest of the show.
Right.
So I defended myself. And I should also tell Roberta that I ain't no hero. That's understood.
Yeah.
But I think this bit is pretty good.
I think if you are helping someone with their kid's 30th birthday, you're a hero. I don't know how to define a hero other than that. You know what I mean? It's a kindness. It's a generosity. And it's something that you do, and most of us do a lot of the time. And maybe that's not strictly hero, but it's pretty cool.
It was pretty great. I mean, I think the dad, what a wonderful dad, so forward thinking stuff. 27 years he's planning this. He said, I want to make this very clear. I'm recording this.
I sure hope he's there, because that'll be really cool.
In regards to
recording this on Betamax, so my son will be able to watch it.
Man.
In regards to Roberta, I don't know why it took you 5 minutes to say, clearly you lack empathy, you sociopath.
Yes. I do say that very clearly. I just couched it in some other stuff.
Some other arguments, yeah.
I wanted to.
So
yes.
On the hero thing,
yeah,
the software embedded in us is that we're the hero of our own story.
Yeah.
What age do you figure that out, that you're not?
65 in this case.
I still got 4 years. I'm sticking with it for that 4 years, though.
I don't know. You are the hero of your own story. You do tell your own story, and I think that's one of the things. When you have children, you start to relinquish that.
Yes,
because all of a sudden you can see yourself as a bit player.
For sure,
you become. I don't know how easy that is to do without children, but it's very easy to look at your children and hear them telling stories about their family where you're just peripheral. My dad did a magic show in Vegas, so I grew up there. Boom.
Done.
That's it. My dad did a magic show, so I grew up in Vegas. And they don't say, "Oh, what magic show?" Because this was a very long time ago.
My dad's been making these videos. Should we talk about our guest who's not here?
Yeah, we should.
No, we should do that next episode.
No, we had. I was gonna learn to pronounce the name, and I was just about looking at that, and he canceled. Jason Amash.
Justin or Jason? Oh man,
Justin.
now I've
Justin.
It's Justin.
It's Justin Amash.
Justin
yeah.
Amash. Justin Amash or Amash. Amash.
Amash
he
is
could tell us,
only.
but he's not here, Penn.
He has
Yeah.
dropped out of the race for president. And I was really going to have trouble because when I looked at his webpage and his Wikipedia, I agreed with so much of him.
Yeah.
And so much of his speaking out against Trump was so powerful and good. And so much of his true libertarian thing, which of course does not extend to abortion. We were going to argue about that with him. And I'm also bothered a little bit on some of the his view on helping people. But I was really feeling bad about giving even our limited airtime to someone who could pull votes away from. I don't think we affect anyone's voting. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not that self-absorbed.
Our mail to Ready Rich definitely says that we don't affect people's votes.
So I guess I was gonna hold down that. I was gonna sit there with Justin going, "You're on here because you think we do affect votes from your side, and you're on here because we don't think we affect votes from our side." Because you would not be on here if you thought we didn't affect votes, and we would not have you on here if we thought we did.
Well, if you look at,
It's the perfect guess.
the timing of when we aired Marianne Williamson to the time she dropped out, and now you look at the timing of this interview versus Justin dropping out, we are certainly getting more powerful. We are certainly.
I think we've shown us to be the last ditch attempt. We are the Hail Mary of media. When you can't get on anything else and you're booked on us, time to give up.
A drowning man will grab a snake.
Drowning.
We are that
We are
snake. That's our show title. All right.
Penn Sunday Snake.
So I was going to have to say, one of the questions I was going to ask him is, how bad Trump is. If you were running against Trump and you thought a vote for you would give a better chance of Trump winning because you're pulling votes away from Trump haters, pulling votes from Trump haters,
Yeah.
don't you think it's a bad idea? I was going to actually ask him that,
Yeah.
what I loved reading, the happiest poll I've ever read is that Trump is being trounced among people that hate both candidates. And as you know, the reason Trump won last time, one of the many reasons, is that Trump was winning with people who hate both candidates.
Yes.
I was one of those.
Yeah.
And I went the other way, but there are a lot of people who hate both candidates.
Yeah.
And I have nothing good to say about Biden except better than Trump.
Yep.
I think he has some sort of. Did you watch Obama's commencement?
I did.
Did you watch the college one or the high school one? I watched the high school one. I was afraid the college would be over
High
my
school.
head. Yeah.
I watched the high school.
What's that?
I watched the high school.
Yeah.
version.
And boy, seeing a president who has some compassion
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaks in complete sentences.
and even
Simple stuff.
Proofread what he was reading.
I try to see it cynically and saying, this is just calculated to make him look this way.
Yeah.
And I went, it now means a lot to me that someone wants to look that way. I mean, isn't that it? The fact that Trump doesn't want to look that way is the deepest problem,
Yes.
deeper than the lying. Obama thinks if he's going to go on TV, he should make people feel that he cares about them and that there's hope and that they are important.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's important not to push hate. And do you understand the difference, why that's so important to me? The fact that Obama, let's say that Obama and Trump are the same level of empty, callous, hateful narcissists. There's no chance of that.
Yeah.
But let's take that as a given for our premise.
Mm-hmm.
At least Obama has a view of the country that is, this is the kind of president they want. And Trump's view of the country is that the kind of president they want is someone who divides into teams and spews hate. It was just amazing. It was amazing that seeing Obama in the worst light possible, which I want to repeat, I don't believe, but seeing him in the worst light possible as an absolute scumbag, a scumbag that wants to play to our better nature is better than a scumbag that wants to play to hate.
Yeah.
And I was very moved because of that. I was
Yeah.
very moved because of that, from his I also loved him saying, we're wrong. It's your world now. You're taking over. We've got you here. We've screwed up a lot of stuff. Go fix it. It's a really important thing to say.
Yeah.
Really important thing to say. And it was very, I was very, very, very emotional. And there was nothing in it. There's no content. I didn't learn a goddamn thing. I didn't get inspired to change a goddamn thing. I just went, oh, wouldn't it be nice if someone wanted us to be like this?
Yeah.
Because, Trump knows that he gets reelected based on hate. And I would love there to be someone who wanted to be elected based on love or based on neutral. I'll take neutral now. You've worn me down. I will take other people are scumbags, but not worth it. I would take that.
Yeah.
Obama, if Biden came out and said, Trump, not my favorite guy, but who cares? Let's do something else. Great.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. I also want to report that I got an email from Kostya Kimlet.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I checked. Handsome Jack was all A's all the way through everything, including graduate school, never a B. I want to inform you that Mike Jonesy, got a B in typing class and still thinks it was unfair and hates the teacher for it and wants him dead and is filled with rage.
My worst grade was typing. My worst grade ever was typing.
Hates him. Still is filled with an overwhelming bitterness. And I got this message from Kostya Kimlet. Catching up on PSS. You guys mentioned me when guessing who was a straight A student. And you're right. In Ukraine, A's have you. A's get you in Ukraine. In Ukraine, we didn't have A's. We were graded 2 to 5, 5 being A and 2 being equivalent of an F. So you get a 5 for assuming that. All A's. All A's. Needless to say, Perry Friedman, all A's except for like one class at Stanford.
Yeah.
But Stanford,
Yeah. They do that curve shit.
Might be
that
tough.
kind of stuff.
So that's our report back. I get a lot more to talk about. I got a book report to give. But I ain't no hero that's understood. That was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
cha-cha-cha. You become naked. What question did you have for Justin? Any good one?
What are you doing?
What the hell do you think you're doing?
You're taking a Jill Stein lane?
Well, it played off real well for her. You know, we love you.